Hello and welcome to Plug and Play Blues. I'll be your instructor, John Hatcher, and over the next 5 lessons, we're going to build a nice Texas-style acoustic blues in E. You know, there certainly are a few themes that run constant throughout the blues, and one of those themes that's just prevalent and wildly used is the 12-bar blues form. But I want to stop and point out that just because this form is insanely popular, that doesn't mean that your blues needs to sound like everyone else's. And that's the goal of this course. I want to arm you with some ideas, hopefully seed ideas for turnarounds, licks, and chord moves that will help you to sort of mix and match things into your own 12-bar blues. I really want you to end this course having your own voice on this example song. So let's get started by talking about the structure that we're going to use for this lesson series. So tune up to standard tuning and let's get started. Before we dive into the E part of this lesson, I want to point out 2 quick things. First, I'm wearing a thumb pick, and you can absolutely play this as a flat picker. You might hear a little bit of a nuanced difference in striking the strings this way versus this way, but ultimately if you focus on getting the notes right and in time and they fall into the groove, it really doesn't matter if you're using your fingers or if you're using a flat pick. Go with what works for you. That being said, because I'm a finger picker, I'll try to point out a lot of what my picking hand's doing along the way. And then secondly, I want to say that this is a shuffle. So the shuffle is going to be counted like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the and there is not really placed evenly in between the downbeat, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of pushed a little closer toward the next beat, and that gives this piece a little bit of a loping feel, that da, 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 da. And it's definitely a swinging rhythm that's used heavily in the blues. And I think you'll get it once we start going through the riff. And let's do that right now. To start out, we're going to hit the open 6th string, and then I'm going to fret this E5 here. So it's just a simple bar on the 5th and 4th strings at the 2nd fret. And so this is my 1 and. And I'm picking that down with the thumb on the 6th string, and then I've got these 2 fingers pretty much locked together here, my index and middle finger, and I'm plucking the 5th and 4th string together at the same time. 1 and. For the 2 and, we're going to go 3, 4 on the 6th string. 1 and 2 and. Then we go back to the E5 for the 3 and. So that's 2, 3 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and. For 4, we go down on the 4th fret, 5th string with your ring finger. And now it's very important to make sure that you've arched your finger up so that you can hear this note on the 4th string at the 2nd fret held under the bar. So I really recommend just planning this for this first little sequence. And then again, make sure you get that note cleanly ringing, both of them really. And then for the 4 and, just strike very lightly the 6th string open. And then we're going to move into the top of the 2nd bar for this riff. And that's done in this position here, 5th string, 5th fret with my ring finger, and then the 4th string, 4th fret with my middle finger. So that's the 1 beat. The and is on the 6th string, open. Then we move back into this shape, and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And the and of 3 is this E5 deal again. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. For the 4 and, we're walking up 3 to 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And really, we're going to loop this back to back for at least the first 4 measures of this song. Once you have the E riff down, it's going to be pretty easy to move that into A. We're going to play the exact same note sequence and the exact same picking sequence. We're just going to do it on a different string set, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. So let's take a quick walkthrough for the A part. We'll start by striking the open 5th string and then picking up on this A5, which is under a bar at the 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd string. So 1 and a walk up on the 5th string, 3, 4, twice under the A5, and then put your ring finger down on the 4th fret, this time on the 4th string, and keep in mind again, you want both of those ringing, and then the and of 4 is an open 5th string this time. Then we move up into the same position that we did in the E, it's just on the 4th and 3rd strings. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so let's walk through that a little slowly. Alright, now that you've gotten the E riff and the A riff down, it's time to move into this B and A sort of combination set of bars. This all takes place over 2 bars, and we start on the B5 and move into the A5 to round it out. And let's take a closer look at exactly what notes we're plucking there. So I've got this B5 fretted up here, and that's 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then a bar here with my ring finger on the 4th and 3rd strings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strike the 5th string and then pluck the 4th and 3rd. So that's 1 and. Then we do that walk up, but we've got to do it on the 5th string, but this time we got to get out of position and walk up, and I'm going to use my middle finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string and then go up to the 6th fret. So 1 and 2 and. Then bar on the 4th and 3rd string at the 4th fret. So that's what we're going for, this first little move, 1 and 2 and 3. The and of 3 is a new note. It hasn't been in the pattern so far, and it's here in the 6th fret of the 5th string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then we do something kind of cool. We flatten out this ring finger here and catch a bar under the 4th and 3rd string here. And then pick it up and go back to this bar on the 4th fret of the 4th and 3rd string. Alright, here's that move a little slowly. Then we basically move that entire pattern down into A. But the thing is, because we're playing this and utilizing this open string, we don't have to get out of position. So we go. Alright, let me play those 2 bars back to back rather slowly. And keep in mind, this is still that shuffle feel, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, and that rounds out the B and A part. Now that we have the distinct parts learned, we've got the E riff, the A riff, and then that B-A riff. Now that we have those done, we need to move on and sequence this thing and plug this into our 12-bar blues progression. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to start off by playing the E twice. So that's bars 1 and 2, then 3 and 4. Then we move right from here into the A part, and we'll play that riff once. So that we're playing bars 5 and 6 now. Here's 6, back to the E, for bars 7 and 8. For 9 and 10, we're going to do our B to A move. Bar 10. And then the final 2 bars, we're just going to play out on the E one time around. And so let's put all of this together with no breaks, and I'll play it at a slow tempo so you can follow along. Here we go. All right, so I really hope that you dig this lesson. I hope that you really find the fun of playing some Texas blues. I mean, this is so much fun to play once you get it down on the fretboard. And listen, it will take some time. It took me a long time to be able to play these walking bass style things. So if you're struggling with it, it's completely normal. You just gotta power through and practice through that. And be sure to pick up the tabs because it'll really help give you a lot of the details and the timing of when these notes are taking place. But once you have this and you're ready to move on, you're gonna love what I've got for you in the next video. In the next video, we're gonna take this and start infusing these little licks. I call them micro licks. They're tiny little 3 to 4 note licks that will just add some life on the top end of this blues groove. And I think you're really gonna enjoy it. So I hope to see you in lesson 2.